And we are live, I do believe. What is up, everybody? So I'm here with Olivia Dasovic. We are going to be talking Candace Owens. We're going to be streaming Candace. She is back after what is it, Olivia? Has it been a 2-week hiatus?
I believe so. Yeah, most streamers took a 2-week hiatus, so we're back. She's back, and I would say back and better than ever. But really, she's just back. There's been no change.
She's just back. Well,
Yep.
here's the thing. By the way, can we ask our viewers, because I'm not really sure how we are sound wise. Can you let us know if one of us is much louder or softer than the other, just in the comments, and we'll
Yes,
see what we
please.
can do about it. Olivia, in the prior episodes we've done, she was turned down a little low. And so now she's turned up, but I just want to make sure that that it's not too much. So anyway, as we're talking, viewers, let us know. But Olivia, here's the thing: is that I assumed today when she posted about Brigitte Macron, because as people may or may not know, there have been some developments there. Apparently, French courts convicted multiple people of cyberbullying and basically defamation of Brigitte Macron. And I'm all about free speech, and I don't know the nuances of cyberbullying law in France, or even if I agree with it. But this was definitely a big punch in the gut to the Brigitte Macron conspiracy theorist. And so Candace Owens posted on this today. And I thought, like a number of other people, well, maybe she is going to turn here. Maybe she's going to try to start getting away from all of this crazy Charlie Kirk conspiracy BS, especially after she was so humiliated by the Mitch Snow debacle, right? And
Yes.
and so we had that. Oh, by the way, everybody, please let us know again if you can hear us okay, and if one of us is much louder than the other, if there's an
Yeah,
issue.
please.
But before we start, most of you know that Candace Owens, for the last 2 weeks, has been utterly humiliated online, and almost everyone has turned on her. I know she still has a number of fans, but some of her biggest fans, like that Evan Kilgore guy,
Hmm.
turned on her over Mitch Snow. Thank you so much, Kay, for letting us know that you hear us. That you hear
Well,
us well.
yeah. So I followed Evan before the Candace stuff. And then the Candace stuff, I was like, I have to unfollow him. I can't do it anymore. He was one of the, I think we've shown his content here. He was one of the biggest and most vocal supporters of Candace Owens,
Yes.
and her just asking questions. And the Mitch Snow stuff, and good on him for, it's a little late, but good on him for seeking out that information and
Good on Evan.
validating it.
Yeah, good on
Like
Evan Kilgore.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Good on Evan for like seeking out that information and validating or not validating this guy's claims. And
Right.
so people have been giving him, kind of giving him some crap for it. I'm, you know what? He's late to the party. I'm happy he joined. It's good that people are waking up. So as much as I want to be like, you were doing this 2 seconds ago, I also think he's probably the best person to then be like, okay, you need to wake up. I was you, a month ago, and now I see how crazy this is. Please wake up. So he has more credibility to them than I think anyone else would who's never been on. Yes, we saw the Zodiac Killer thing, and I hope we talk about that or Candace talks about it, because I mean, I read it to my husband, you guys, and if you know Brett, he's not a really political dude. And my sweet husband was like, when I said it, he goes, "What?" I was like, "Yeah." He said his husband's the Zodiac Killer,
His dad
or
is a
his
Zodiac killer.
dad, not husband, but that'd be funny
Yeah.
too. He said his dad's a Zodiac Killer, and he's like, "What?" And I read him the whole tweet, and he was like, "Oh my gosh." He's like, "This isn't real." I was like, "No, it's real. It's very real." And then it was all over his feed after that. So poor Britt had to listen to me yap about that development for like an hour.
Well, I actually missed that one, but it's no surprise, because if you look in Mitch's background, or whatever his real name is, if you look in his background, you're going to find, as we've talked about, that he is a total grifting either liar or lunatic, down to the streams that he did where he was talking about his injured arm, and then the cast, kept the sling
It
kept
switched sides.
changing arms. Yeah, I know. So I Anyway, she has been though just Candace has been just totally demolished in the last couple of weeks. I mean, you
Yep.
know that you're in trouble if Alex Jones is even calling out your conspiracy theories. And so I
Yeah.
thought that maybe she actually would pivot, especially with the post today about Brigitte Macron. I and others thought, okay, all right, now she's seen the writing on the wall. She's going to start pivoting back to the Macron thing and just hope that her audience goes with her on that. But no, lo and behold, this is the title of her soon to be posted live stream. New Year, same Fed slop. So I'm so sick of, by the way, hearing the word slop. Can we just retire
Me
that?
too. Like, leave that one in the last year. I'm sick of the word slop. Like, there's so many better ways to talk about it.
Well, it's just been so overused by Candace now, and I'm and her fans, and so I'm getting really sick of that. Somebody mentioned here that someone I just saw this that someone has gotten their lives canceled for
I
streaming
saw
Candace.
that.
Yeah, and it is always risky streaming at someone else's streams, which is why I don't do it very often. And again, this is probably going to be one of the last that we ever do on this. I really
Mhm.
try with Candace just to stream and we've only done it a couple of times, a few times to
Sure,
really
yeah.
just try to stream the big shows like this or comeback show. But it is what it is. What happens happens. But you cannot proceed in total fear doing YouTube stuff because you can get canceled or you can get
Mhm.
strikes for all kinds of things. And so
Sure.
anyway, but I thought that she might pivot, but no, she's not. It looks like she is totally going to double down.
Well, and why wouldn't she? I mean, I wanna thank not just you, Kurt, but everybody here for being on this Mitch journey with us because we had just started streaming when this started, and now we're here when it's kind of at like a, for lack of a better phrase, turning point in this story where he's clearly crazy. I feel like we've all kind of trauma bonded in a way through this like Mitch story, but I'll let you get that super chat.
Oh yeah. So K House says been tuning into you since the Manson case. Great journalism, very informative. I appreciate your intellect and most definitely your humor. Thank you very much for that. Go ahead though, Olivia.
Oh, Candy's about to start here.
She's got a little
But
bit of an intro.
yeah, but I'm just, I feel like we all really been through this journey together. It's coming full circle.
Well,
I'm loving it.
the Mitch thing has certainly been a low point for Candace because I think that up until Mitch, there were still a number of people who were hanging on with her, and
Mhm.
but she, I mean, not only did she put him on her show, but she made him the focal point
Yeah.
really of her program for like what, a week or two, and then she went into the holidays now, holiday break, still touting this guy. She put his GoFundMe up. She raised what, over $100,000
A
for him? Is
lot of
that right?
money.
For a
Yeah.
total scammer. And then I don't know if you saw the
All right, you guys, happy new
go.
year. I hope you missed me because I definitely missed you. I have so much to say.
He
It
didn't.
is the year 2026, and I am feeling sparkly and brand new show icon, new
Great.
YouTube and Rumble banner. I'm even wearing a new shirt that I got for Christmas, which is why it truly pains me to report that our government is up to the same old Fed sloppy tricks. Speaking of which, many of you have already messaged me regarding the Daily Wire seemingly reactivating my old social media accounts and releasing an old promo, an old trailer rather, from when I used to work with them. It's very confusing, but I have the answer for why it happened. And
The
no, of
Jews.
course, it did not happen because I said it could. It did not have my permission. I'm going to tell you what those guys are up to. I'm a little bit terrified. There's been a lot that has transpired over the last 2 weeks while we were off air. Many things that I have wanted to respond to. So buckle up because it is going to be a long week. And I suspect it might therefore also be a very long year. Welcome
Oh,
back to
great.
Candace.
Can't wait. I'm so excited. It's gonna be Israel. That's why they posted it.
It's definitely gonna be a long year for her because she's getting herself sued to
Oh,
high
yeah.
heaven.
Where should we begin? I'm going to begin with Johnny. I ran into an 11-year-old boy at the bakery this weekend, and his name is Johnny. He's from St. Louis, and he watches my show every single day with his mother. I thought that was really sweet, and I told him that when I was back, I was going to shout him out on the very first episode of the new year. So happy new year to Johnny from Missouri. Happy New Year, actually, to everyone except for Andrew Colvett, spokesperson of Turning Point USA,
So
who
awful.
has been working behind the scenes to have me smeared. Yeah, Andrew, you got caught. And today I sentence you to truth. And that's never a good thing for people who lie on my name, okay? I always have things that I'm keeping, and I know some things about you that now the public is going to know. And before I tell you guys how Andrew got caught, and I mean caught, I'm talking hand in the cookie jar, red-handed, orchestrating attacks against me via obscure YouTubers, I would like to at first go back and revisit Turning Point USA's end-of-year conference, AmFest, supposed to be America Fest, because I was not on air for all of it. I was just on air for the beginning. And I have a lot of things that I feel that I need to get off of my chest about that event. And it's never too late. And I want to say this also. History books, they're not going to be fair to me. I think we know that. And I am long gone from this earth. The history books.
Yes, you are, honey.
Truth about the things that I
Different
did.
planet entirely.
Truth about my contributions. But I want to be clear that I want to be remembered as the person who was holding the internet back. Last year, I was in earnest holding the internet back. Everyone was coming at Turning Point USA at all these allegations. And I was like, no, chill. Just give them some time. Everybody grieves differently. Just give them some time. It's just different. But now I quit, okay? Hands down, I am letting the internet go.
What?
I am done, okay? I'm already the media is.
I have no idea what she's even saying there. Did she just try to tell us that she was actually telling people to go easy on Turning Point for a while?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is like, look, I don't use this term ever because I think it's overused, but this is legitimate gaslighting. To be like, I was the one holding them back. You were the one throwing fuel on the fire.
This is insane. And, she's talking about her place in history. And what's basically what she's conceding here is that everyone has decided that she is nuts or a liar. And so she already knows basically what she's saying is, I realize I've just completely ruined my reputation. And then she proceeds to try to gaslight us and make us believe that she was the one. She's been the one has been trying to hold back the tide of criticism against Turning Point. What? All right, let's see what she says. Crazy.
Public enemy number one, but now I feel ready to fully embrace that. I want to let that hit me like a tidal wave, because there was one solitary thing amongst a great many other things, I should add, but there was one solitary thing that happened at AmFest, which was the straw that broke this camel's back. What do you guys think it was? What do you think it was that happened at AmFest that just sent 100% me over the edge?
Because he's a Jew. No.
Before we hone in on that detail, I think the bird's eye view of AmFest is that it looks like a convention for a pyramid scheme. I think that's fair. I think that is a fair interpretation of everything that we watched. The conference looked.
How dare she talk to anyone about pyramid schemes after she just tried to
crowdfund people?
Crowdfund that Mitch dude. I think of all of the people in her audience, the nice old ladies or younger ladies who don't have the money to be spending on anything frivolous, much less some grifter liar like him who were giving him money.
Mm-hmm.
And felt like a weekend in Las Vegas, like Disney World for adults, because that's what Las Vegas is. It's like Disney World for adults, or rather adults at Disney World with no kids, because there was something about it that was disturbing. And I think that the comedian Tim Dillon did a fantastic job of summing up how everybody felt watching it. Here is what he had to say. And I'd like to remind you, you should be mad at Tim Dillon and not at me. He's the person that is saying the quiet part out loud. Take a listen.
This Turning Point kind of abomination that the right wing of this country has turned into like a bad reality show. And it's all of the fault of everyone, by the way. It's the fault of everyone speaking and everyone attending, and there's nobody that gets everything about this is weird and uncomfortable for everyone. And obviously, I'm not saying she killed her husband or knew about it or whatever. I'm saying the guy got shot 3 months ago.
I just want to say real quick, Olivia, and I don't know where exactly you are on this, but I have from the beginning of this Charlie Kirk stuff, I have had some criticisms of Erica Kirk. I had some criticisms of the memorial, and I had some criticisms of the Turning Point Amfest. And so to me, it's kind of a moot point one way or the other, whether you're totally on board with how Turning Point has handled things or Erica Kirk, or you're not. It does not justify the lies and calumnies and defamation that Candace has been putting out there. So I guess what her point here is going to be with this Tim Dillon dude is, oh, look, it's a great critique here of Erica Kirk and Turning Point and Amfest. Well, fine, whatever. I don't care. It's still at this point, it does not justify what she's been doing. So I don't know.
And she walks out to a pyrotechnic display. And then she goes, we're going to elect J.D. Vance. It's weird that that's where her head is at. It's difficult for many people to relate to. It's not relatable for people that talked about how Hollywood isn't relatable and Hollywood is out of touch. This looks a lot like Hollywood to most people. And to go out through a stream of fireworks and sparklers and stand there in a glittering pantsuit and talk about electing J.D. Vance 3 months after your husband was killed, many people feel that there is something off about that. And we're starting to see that political people are the exact same thing as the Hollywood elites that they all love to dunk on. And we all look at this. This is Megan Thee Stallion twerking at the Kamala rally. This is deeply unsettling to a lot of people. It feels like you're being played. You feel it. It seems off. You feel like this is
It's a political organization, all right? It's always been. It was a political organization under Charlie Kirk. Yeah, Erica Kirk, personally, she rubs me kind of the wrong way. There's some stuff that she's done and said that I'm like, yeah, whatever. But again, like, Candace, you're not gonna get away with what you have been doing with the crazy lies that you've been propagating for months now, and these batshit conspiracy theories, and that loser lunatic liar that you put on your show, Mitch Snow, as your star witness. You're not going to get away with all that by putting this Santa Claus dude on here to criticize TPUSA. It's almost beside the point at this point for me. I don't know. Olivia, what do you think?
Like, okay, so I was taking notes here because I was trying to keep up with everything he said, because he said a lot. But at Amfest, they've always done pyro for their big guests. So I say what you will about the memorial, but to be like, oh, she did it at Amfest, that's what they do. They have always done that. Charlie would always say, do more, do more, do more.
Yeah, he likes the pyrotech. He liked the pyrotech.
Right. And right. So in a way, I think that's them honoring in a way, and also keeping the energy up, because you want a bunch of people to gather and mourn about it. I don't understand what they're saying. Of course they want to keep the energy up, and people are asking what's after Trump. And so she answered that question for Turning Point and said, okay, in 2028, we're supporting JD Vance.
Vice president. It's like the vice president is always the obvious choice for success.
And that's what Charlie wanted too. It was like she didn't just sit there and glaze JD Vance the whole speech.
Right.
She talked about how she did that media tour that Charlie already had booked. Right. And how, she was honoring him by doing that. She talked about a lot of things. And look, everyone's like, oh, the sparkly pantsuit. Look, if I could pull that off, I can't. I could never pull that off. I thought she could pull it off. People were criticizing the pantsuit. I thought it was kind of cute. I don't know. She looks cute in it.
The pantsuit.
I had no problem.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? She looks good. And y'all want to be mad, that's fine. But I'm not sure what they expect her to do. Stand up there and sob into the microphone, or not show up, or
there was
I don't get it.
Amfest was it was more or less what you'd expect, and I think what you'd have expected from Charlie. Now, I will say this: whoever it was, I'm sure it wasn't a high level person, but whoever it was who decided to do the Charlie Kirk shooting memorial tent where you could take selfies,
That was a little weird.
that was strange.
I think their intentions were good. I think they went in with the intention of like it's a way to like memorialize him.
Yeah,
And hindsight, I think they probably thought like, okay, that'll be a really good way. It's just a little too soon, and like I think
it was weird. It was.
I
weird.
don't think they had malicious intent, like people said. I
Nah.
think that they
It was a
did it thinking it
low-level-
was good. and
I think it was
didn't play
probably a low level. It was probably a low level staffer who I don't think that was Erica Kirk making that decision. The thing is, it wasn't at Amfest. You have all of these different booths, and so it's almost like a kind of a convention. And so it wasn't like this Charlie Kirk booth was like the center point of something. You just have a lot of stuff going on at these type of things. I think that was probably a lower level staffer whose head was in the wrong place, whatever. And but again. What does this have to do with any of the bullshit, the Fed slop that you said you were going to
Yeah, true.
A coordinated and choreographed spectacle so that you are played. They want your money. That's what they got mad at Candace about. They're like, why are you telling people not to give us money? She's also saying you killed the guy. Why are you mad about the money? They're just mad that they're not getting money. They want your money, and they want to be celebrities.
Okay, so that's an honest take. That is just a very honest take, and you can be mad at Tim Dillon. You can be mad at me for playing Tim Dillon on this show, or you can be someone that's concerned about the direction that the Republican Party is taking, and you can recognize that that's the truth, okay? You can keep deluding yourself, and you can keep pretending that this is not how the public received this event. This is not how Republicans are feeling, but you would, again, you just be deluding yourself. That's the truest take right there on the internet about how people felt when they watched it. It felt like everything that all of us on our platforms said that gave us the ick about Hollywood when they got up on stage and they mocked people that lived between LA and New York City, and they mocked the farmers and the ranchers and people that supported Trump in 2015. That's the vibe that it's getting. It feels like we're being mocked. Now, for clarity, that's just broadly speaking. Like broadly speaking, it was not relatable to the general public to see a situation where a man is murdered in broad daylight and the company that he built allows the very people who hated that man while he was still alive to simply pay enough money to speak main stage and pretend that they were best buds. There's something about that.
Who was on the stage who hated Charlie Kirk when he was alive? What did I miss there?
I think she's saying Ben Shapiro.
Did
I
Ben
think that's who
Shapiro
she's-
hate Charlie Kirk? Did they have
No, but she found something. I don't know. I don't even know what it was, but she found something that, like, I don't know. Look, all I'll say is like jealousy does not look good on anybody. Candace, specifically you. It's not a good color. I would try maroon next time. Don't do it.
It's a
I'm over
political
the jealousy.
organization too. Like that's the thing. Look, I mean, if Charlie Kirk, like my criticism of the memorial was that right after he's killed, I did think it was too politicized. It felt like too much of a political rally to me personally. But now,
Sure.
but look, now we are months into this thing. It's a political organization. Like what are they supposed to do? Just all like shrivel up and go away and just completely
Sure.
drop the ball on this organization that Charlie Kirk built with blood, sweat, and tears. I mean, what else do you expect? It's a political organization.
Yeah, he happened to be surrounded by people who were right-leaning, and so it comes off very political. And of course, in the moment, everyone had very high emotions, not just people there, but just like, I know my emotions were pretty high about it because I just watched this guy, be assassinated.
Yeah.
And so I think looking back now, everything they did was really trying to honor Charlie in the best way they could with the resources they had and
agree with
knowledge they had. But they were lost, right? And as they should be lost without Charlie, like for a little bit.
And now we're months into it. So it's their standard yearly convention. It's a
It
political.
was Amfest.
And I'm
It
really
was Amfest.
I'm really tired too of the revisionism. If we want to talk about historical revisionism, the revisionism and romanticization of Charlie Kirk, to the extent that people seem to have forgotten that he was first and foremost a smooth political operator. And he has been now sainted in a number of people's minds to the point where you're not supposed to connect Charlie Kirk and his memory to politics. That was what this dude lived and breathed. And I didn't agree with a number of things actually that he stood for or promoted, but that was what this dude lived and breathed. So like, it's not weird to have Amfest was not in that respect. I don't have any issue with it. And I just don't understand. She seems really off track with this. I thought we were going to hear about Mitch and Alex Jones and Fed Slop, but I guess
hopefully soon. Hopefully we get it soon.
That people just can't relate to. Like, Ben Shapiro didn't really like Charlie when he was alive, but he gave us $1 million. So he's going to be at Amfest, and he's not only just going to be at Amfest, he's going to walk out right after Erica Kirk opens up Amfest.
Ben Shapiro.
And we just sort of expect the public to be fine with that. That actually happened. Now, maybe Turning Point USA is not striving for relatability, and that's fine. Money can, in fact, be your motive. But for me, when it moved toward becoming an abomination, the thing that sent me over the edge was when I saw the tent.
Oh,
Okay,
well,
I am never going to get over this tent. I could spend a week discussing this tent.
Girl, you don't get over anything.
Like, come on.
I mean, I will say,
look, I don't like the tent either, but like she's like, I'm never getting over it. Like, big shocker.
No, I know. They did. They did goof up there in giving her some red meat on that. Like that. That should have been something that someone should have been like, hey, Candace,
not a good idea.
She is gonna drag us through the freaking mud of this. So,
but they shouldn't do everything at the direction of what Candace could drag them through. So I understand. But again, I think they had good intentions. I genuinely believe that they thought it was a good way to memorialize him because, for whatever reason. I don't think that now it wasn't like, look, I don't like what they did with the tent, but there wasn't blood splatter on the tent. There wasn't like, it could have been a lot worse. Still not
and
great.
It was one of many booths. This thing. It's like,
yes,
it's a convention.
Not great, but
But anyway,
bigger fish to fry.
They did. They were kind of asking for it here. Whatever she's gonna say, but
content describing what it was like for me when I saw the tent and how I felt seeing the tent and what this tent actually now represents.
The tent.
What am I referring to? Let's take a listen to a reporter who was at Amfest describe the scene behind her in the hallway outside of the speaking area. Take a listen.
And you can see from behind me, this is a recreation of the tent where Charlie Kirk lost his life at Utah University in September, and people are taking selfies with it.
I can't. I cannot.
Then don't. Candace.
I am not capable of whatever that. When I saw this, I realized I do not know enough words. I had to consult a thesaurus, and I still could not land upon the correct adjective to describe how I felt when I saw that tent.
It was a misstep. It was a misstep.
Selfies under a recreation.
But again, it's also like a small tent in a large area. I remain convinced that this was a low-level staffer or something.
And
with this thing.
And I think that it wasn't to symbolize Charlie getting murdered in the tent. It was to symbolize like what he did on campuses. And maybe the tent was supposed to be there anyways before he died. Maybe he said, put a prove me wrong tent out there. And then, maybe I'll go out and talk to people, and then that couldn't happen. Like, we don't know enough information, but I don't like the tent. But I don't think they went, would be a really good idea. We should put the tent where Charlie was murdered out there, so that everybody can see it and take selfies and make it happy. I don't think that was the instinct for them.
They didn't mean it in an exploitive way. And again, it's like you're saying, it's not like there was blood splatter. It's not some kind of like, it's not like a haunted house or something, see him get murdered.
Cardboard cutout or something,
And I don't know if it's actually the tent. It looks like it's pretty old, or a tent that Charlie died under. That's what was happening at Amfest.
We don't know if that's the tent.
Horrified. I was aghast. I don't think I ever described myself as aghast. I was aghast. It was ghastly to look at that and to realize that they made a conscious decision to allow that to happen. To what end? Okay. I was so aghast. I messaged people inside of Turning Point. I said, I want to know who approved this, because I know what's going to come next. You're going to say, oh, we don't know how it happened, and it's something fell through the cracks and so much was going on. We had no
Yeah.
idea the tent that Charlie died on was being brought in as a display. We had no idea that was happening. So I messaged and I said, who did this? Who approved this? I want to know, because I have no authority to fire these people, but I want to pretend like I can fire the people who made this decision, everyone involved. And
What
the
does
answer that
that
I
mean?
got. was
Sorry,
I believe-
what?
She wants to pretend that she can fire the
She's
people.
it's Candyland. She wants to be in her own universe. Look, I am willing to bet 99% certainty here that the tent that he was murdered under is still in evidence. And this was not the tent. They had more than one tent, Candace. This was not the tent.
She's such a
So
weirdo. She wants to be able to.
she wants to be able to pretend she can fire them. Like, okay, go off, I guess.
What the hell?
this, or you will believe this, that the person who approved this tent was the amazing Elizabeth McCoy.
Oh.
Potentially more amazing than her husband, Michael McCoy. Elizabeth McCoy was the person who approved this tent. So there's no way that they can come out and pretend like Erica didn't know this was happening, because she's very close with Elizabeth McCoy. Okay, she's very close with her. So for everybody on the
So the wife of this pastor that's affiliated with Turning Point approved this, and Candace thinks that as busy as Erica Kirk is, Erica Kirk's doing a media tour and all of this stuff, that she's sure then that this woman must have run this pastor.
True.
I don't think so. If you have any familiarity with these kinds of high-level organizations and all that's involved in these conventions, and this was a major show they were putting on here, I absolutely don't think that Erica Kirk probably rubber stamped every single thing that was done at that convention.
Absolutely not. No.
That's silly. Okay.
outside looking into this, AmFest is when we realized that something very disturbing is happening in America. I feel like AmFest is, or what it did for me was it contributed to my realization that the future, the dark future that everyone's always predicting, like the AI future, it's here. We're actually here. I think that we are fighting machines. I think that these people are not humans, that they're sentinels that maybe look like humans. That's how I feel. I feel like it's the single solitary event that contributed to my realization that the future is happening right now. And the issue that a lot of these, the gap that's between us and the rest of them is essentially they don't.
Did she just say that the people running Turning Point are machines?
Yep, basically.
What I love about Candace is that just when you think, well, she's kind of got a point here or whatever, then she just takes it to like the millionth nth degree of insanity. And then you're like, nope, she's still fucking crazy. Still crazy. They're sentinels.
Know how to behave like humans. You know what I mean? Like we're fighting an algorithm, a computer code that is presenting as a human being, but actually it can't comprehend real human emotion.
It's the robots.
And the programmers
Elon
can't
Musk.
quite write the code specifically enough to emulate real human emotion. And so in response, they're just multiplying the sentinels. Like they're sending more of them to say and do things that are obviously abnormal, that are obviously inhumane. And they're hoping that with enough of them pretending like it's fine, they can override our humanity. Like, well, everyone's saying this is fine, so it has to be fine. Everyone's saying it's fine, so it absolutely is fine. And there's something wrong with you if you don't realize why it's fine that we're hanging up this tent and taking.
I have to say one thing here on a personal level. I got so much shit on Twitter for criticizing or making fun of Candace Owens' hair a couple of weeks ago. And of course, anytime that I post anything criticizing a woman's looks online, I get all of this, you just bash women's looks, as if that's somehow like beyond the pale of acceptable conduct. But I will just say this. And then and I also had people saying she lost hair after her pregnancy. That's why she has to wear it like that, because she lost hair. And then people telling me, why don't you take a look at your own hair? Let me tell you all something. If I ever, you can damn fucking believe this, if I ever get to the point with my podcast where I have millions of viewers and millions of dollars and I can afford to hire a team of professional stylists, you will never see me wearing my hair like whatever this is that we're looking at. It's not. And people were saying it's totally okay to have those two sides down. Y'all, fine. She can have two sides down. But what is up with all the it's kinky here, but then it's straight here. And then you've got this weird straggle going on in the back. If anybody thinks that this hair looks like the product of a multi-millionaire stylist team, you are crazy. That's all I have to say. And I will continue to say that this hair looks bad. Her hair looks bad. It does. And you're in denial if you're telling me that it doesn't. And if I ever have millions of dollars and a team, I can guarantee you I'll have the best blowout that you've ever seen. I won't have this going on anyway.
Pictures and selfies under it. I don't know. There's something wrong with you. You're just upset or something. The result of what's happening right now, and Tim Dillon is about to explain this, and I have a lot of Tim Dillon clips because he just spoke to me when I heard his take on everything.
He came to her in a dream.
The result is that right now what's happening in this country and really all over the world is that everything feels weird and wrong. That's why I kept saying
you're crazy.
last year that everything is fake and gay. It feels like we're watching a movie. It feels like we're all in the Truman Show and everyone around us are actually robots. And things have gotten so abnormal that even things that should be abnormal, like RFK sexting, which is what Tim Dillon's about to describe, feels like that's the most normal thing going on. Take a listen to Tim Dillon.
What a profoundly dysfunctional society we have. There's nothing to look up to. There's no one to be excited about. Really, the least controversial member of this administration is RFK Jr. Can you imagine? He's the least scandal-prone member of the administration. And every 3 days, there's another text leaking from him where he's like, open your mouth. I want to put my seed in you. And that's somehow the best part of this whole thing. His sex are nowhere near as, scandalous as like Kash Patel, the FBI director, is sitting there updating you on his girlfriend's country music tour. It's hell. It's absolutely hell. And Erica Kirk, God bless, tragic, and I'm sorry for what happened.
Why are we acting like RFK Jr.'s sexting scandal is some new thing? Does anybody remember Bill Clinton sticking a cigar in Monica Lewinsky in the Oval Office? Because
literally.
I do.
Big scandals are new.
JFK, the original JFK, running through 18-year-olds, virgins, like there's no tomorrow. Forget Lyndon Johnson. I mean, come on, dude after dude after dude in politics has had sexting, has had sex scandals. What is it? Why are we even talking about this now? It's ridiculous.
But nobody knows why she's out there in a glittering pantsuit in a recreated tent.
She was not in the tent. Don't say it like that.
Tragically was murdered in, throwing merch out. She's out there talking to Nicki Minaj. People are confused. Yeah. What's going on? Those are the three words that sum up this whole entire mess that we've created for ourselves.
He's right. What is going on sums up how we all feel right now. And I also would like to mention here another confusing parts that we kind of didn't discuss enough. Another confusing part of that Barry Weiss interview that we should discuss more. Everyone was making TikToks about the stop, just stop. But actually the most effed up part about that interview was CBS's decision to bring Hunter Kozak to ask Erica a question. Again, who approved this?
Okay, that was a little messed up.
I want to know who thought it up.
That's the guy that was talking to Charlie when he was shot.
Yeah, can you catch up the audience on that?
I don't remember what he asked her, but they brought the person who was asking that question about gang violence.
Sorry, just a little background. Erica Kirk went on Barry Weiss's CBS's show. She did a town hall. And then you're saying what now?
They brought in to ask a question the guy who was there asking Charlie a question when Charlie was shot and killed. I can't remember what his question was, but I remember being like, damn, he didn't even say, I witnessed what happened and I'm so sorry for your family to her face. He just went and asked a question. I was like, wouldn't this dude want to, be like, I can't even imagine what you're going through. But yeah, it was, so they brought in, that was also a really bad oversight. I can give Candace credit there that was weird.
But that was
really weird.
That was Barry Weiss, or that was whoever was
brought him in to talk to Erica, which is I mean, I'm hoping they ran it by her before.
Well, maybe they did. I don't know. The thing is too, those things, if you're a layperson, a civilian, so to speak, and you're not used to speaking of those things, most of the time people are awkward. So the fact that this Hunter Kozak guy maybe didn't conduct himself in the best, most kosher way or whatever, it's who really cares? But
Let's do it, because everyone involved in that process is what I think we're fighting right now. I think these are robots. There's no way that somebody comes up with that idea and then a team of people at CBS approve it. Again, they wanted to recreate the moment that Charlie died, but this time his wife was going to survive it. Hunter Kozak. Last time we all saw him, Charlie died. Very wise. Bring him back. Erica's going to survive it. Now, to the computer programmers, I want you to know, to us humans looking into that, the part that you're missing is post-traumatic stress, displaced anger. Like, technically, Hunter Kozak didn't do anything wrong on that day at UVU, but I hate him anyways. That's how I feel. I hate him anyway. I don't ever want to hear his voice ever again.
So Christian.
Because he's the last person on earth that tried to stress out Charlie Kirk. Right?
What?
Asking a stupid question about transgenderism, and then Charlie died. So it's not fair, but I don't like Hunter Kozak. I just don't. And I think that that's a normal human feeling, right? Bringing him back to finish asking a question, like this time Hunter's going to get to ask his question. That's not relatable to the rest of it.
I don't understand why we're talking about all this Mickey Mouse shit. She had her on her thumbnail, on Candace Owens' thumbnail. She had Alex Jones. She had Mitch, her star witness from 2 weeks ago. She had Alex Jones and someone else. Why are we then talking about Hunter Kozak?
Also, I'm so sorry for Candace to be like, oh, I'm a Christian. I hate Hunter Kozak because he asked him a question, which was literally what Charlie wanted people to do. Charlie wasn't stressed out. Charlie loved getting these questions. You could tell he loved it. And then to like, I hate him. I never want to hear him again. I'm sorry, what gives you the right to bring this kid up? This kid who watched this really horrible act, and he reflected on it. He was crying when he was talking about it in an interview. He watched someone get murdered right in front of him. I mean, look, Erica probably said, yes, let him come back. I'm assuming they ran it by Erica because I don't think they would have just brought this kid in. I thought it was kind of weird, but then I think about what she just said. I hate him. He stressed out Charlie Kirk. Charlie was prepared to answer that question. He was letting him finish. I just where in the hell is she getting this from? She's spouting hate, which is one of the most non-Christian things you can do. Using her religion as a way to gain followers. As a Christian myself, it's really disheartening.
Yeah, she loves to drag out the Christianity thing, and of course we got that crucifix in the back towering over everything.
It actually makes people who have a soul feel icky. So I want everyone to watch that moment. I want to invite you to go backward and to rewatch that moment and the manner in which Barry Weiss tees up this excruciatingly odd question. Take a listen.
Erica, as you know, the last person that Charlie ever spoke to was a Utah Valley student named Hunter Kozak. He was asking Charlie a question that day when he was shot, and he's here tonight, and he wants to ask you a question.
Hi there.
So it doesn't matter what the question is. I wanted to tee that up so you could see it. How does that make you feel? How weird is that? The way that I feel when I watch that clip is like when Barry Weiss goes home at night, she just plugs herself into the wall to charge.
Dear
That's
Lord,
how I feel.
this is just so stupid.
We're just different. I don't know what species that is.
Yes, we are.
What computer program that is, but I can't relate to
It's also boring. This isn't even an interesting show, honestly.
that. I can't relate to the idea that if Jackie O a few months later decided to do interviews, that they would be like, hey, Jackie, are you down with getting back into the car and we're going to drive back to the spot in Dallas, but don't worry, this time you're going to survive.
Yeah, because she was standing in the
audience, but this time we're just going to recreate that. That's weird. So the real question that I have going into this year is how many of us humans are left? That's my energy for this year. How many humans are actually left? Because I think the war is already happening. And also, what's going to happen now? What's in the forecast for humanity in 2026? Because
hopefully not you, babe.
Up to the fact that everything is taken gay, and we are therefore now reaching an inflection point. The people that rule over us, they tried it the nice way, I guess. They increased the pageantry. They used even more pyrotechnics and fireworks, and it seems like we're not biting. We are still talking about Brigitte Macron being
Oh.
born a dude. We're also still
Oh, for
talking
God's
about
sake.
the Epstein files. I'm sorry. So what's the next step? What's going to happen?
Talk about
Are they
Mitch.
going to just get crazier? Yeah, I think the answers last year taught us yes. They want to start rewriting laws. They want to bankrupt people for knowing the truth. A real headline today, by the way, Brigitte Macron, who was quite literally born a male and who quite literally committed statutory rape under the then.
She quite literally was not, and you quite literally have provided absolutely no actual evidence of it.
It's a track record for her at this point.
Go on.
French law against a 14-year-old student has successfully secured a conviction against 11 people in France for cyberbullying. And the media is now, of course, trotting that out, pretending that that's proof that she's a woman. No, it is proof that France has now created laws and are willing to try people for telling the truth.
No,
if
for
the
defamation.
person who is lying feels bullied.
For defamation.
Defamation, Candace.
Look, I don't know about the cyberbullying laws in France, and it might be something that I wouldn't stand behind, philosophically speaking. But it's for defamation. It is.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting. In a way, I want Candace to keep leaning into this Macron stuff, because all this is going to do is increase the amount of money that she and her rich hubby are going to have to end up forking over to the Macrons when she gets an Alex Jones-sized judgment against her. Because here's the thing, and we talked about this before, Olivia, is that yes, it is very difficult generally to sue someone for defamation, but if you can prove that the person was supplied with ample evidence that what they are espousing is not true, and then after that they continue to double down on it, then you can get a major judgment against them. So I hope
and she literally just said a man who she literally just said it.
Proven to be a man. So I hope, Candace, that you keep this up. If you're watching this, honey, or if you see this later, keep on doubling down on that Macron shit, because it's just going to mean more money out of your pocket. You are going to be bankrupted by this thing. Absolutely bankrupted.
That's what that means, just so we're clear. So if Rachel Dolezal is, as she is, actually born Caucasian, and she's presenting as Black, and you go online and you say, hey, you're actually a white girl, she can sue you if she feels cyberbullied. That's what's happening.
That's not how that works
in Paris. And I think that's kind of
happening in Paris.
An understanding of what they're trying to make happen here in America. The deep state is insisting on passing speech laws, and they're going to attempt to bankrupt me for knowing the truth about Brigitte. This is a longer clip, and it is so worth listening to because it's brilliant. I honestly think this is dark comedic brilliance from Tim Dillon.
Can we skip the Tim Dillon?
This exact moment in time that we
so over Tim Dillon.
We actually can, and I'm going to, because we don't have a lot of time, and this dude is not in any way,
it's a long clip. I want to hear if she talks about Mitch.
I know. This is all.
Oh my God, that is like the longest clip.
Yeah. All right, let's see here.
I just had to play that in its entirety because it's brilliant.
Yeah, I'm sure it's great.
It spoke to my soul when I heard it. That's how I felt last year. I'm like, hey, guys, like, a lot going on right now. And it feels like they're just giving us more stuff, more materialism.
It's called
more trash music. Glittery suits, pyrotechnics. Don't understand that we are perhaps being run by society is being run by incredibly evil people, and it's been happening for a very long time. And I don't really care about the new iPhone that's dropping. I don't care if you got into Mar-a-Lago last night. There's something.
Then don't look at that content
that's happening here. And the droids keep droiding, right? They're fighting us, and they're just kind of telling us that we have to accept this culture, and we're saying no. So I guess
Yuck 2.0, the comment here, this is a great comment. Candy's cult is denying the second and third motions filed to dismiss the Macron case. I had it out with one of her cult members on X a few weeks ago. Yes, this is the funny thing. The interesting thing is that Candace claims that she has truth on her side and that Macron is literally a man in all of this. Well, If so, why don't you want to go to court and expose them? That should be the thing that you most want to do.
Mhm.
Yet what you're actually doing in real life and in the real court of law, the legal system, is you are running scared and you were trying to get this whole thing dismissed. So she is a
Yep.
complete hypocrite and liar here, honestly.
Yep.
In summary, the battle lines have very clearly been drawn this year. You now have to decide what side you're going to take. Are you with the Sentinels? Are you with the human beings? I've decided very clearly, but I'm with the people. And I'm done holding them back because all of this is effing weird. And we're going to discuss even more weirdness that's going on. First, we're going to take a brief break and throw it to our sponsors. All right, you guys, if you are trying to get healthier, sleep better, or finally lose those stubborn pounds.
Skip through this. Yes, I'm glad we can skip through all the commercials.
Mhm.
She talks about materialism and how everything's getting more materialistic.
I know. Well, then she's like, why are people talking about other things going on? Because it's not all about you, babe.
Biologist says, quote, these studies
Oh, we're still selling crap. Okay.
saying that the Daily Wire had brought back my old YouTube
here we
channel. They had seemingly deleted it. Apparently, they just privatized it and they brought it back. And as you could see, they premiered an old trailer from when I was joining the Daily Wire. And this wasn't a mistake. This was not a mistake because they put a card in the front that said this was shot in 2021. So what are they doing? They also did the same thing on Instagram. My old Instagram channel, they re-released my trailer from when I was first joining them. So clearly they're trying to get attention for something. And I can tell you what that something is. I love scooping people when they're just being weird. First, I should say I did have a little bit of sympathy over this break. I would like to apologize to the midget horse. The midget horse never deserved the FU. There's nothing wrong with being a midget horse. And yeah, I was a little fired up and I attacked a small horse that probably did nothing wrong, if I'm being honest. Now, more broadly speaking, the reason I had sort of snapped at the end of last year is that it has been a very long road, as I showed you an example of me just trying to be fired like a normal person. Just so you guys know, in a normal world, your employer, if they fire you, that should be the last you hear of them. You should not then have them follow you to events, calling people to try to get you canceled from speaking
in the same
events, putting pressure
space.
on people, lawsuits. That's actually toxic. And when I said to people that it was getting to a point where I felt like
Olivia, I hate to say it, but I think we're getting to a point where Candace Owens has gotten boring. I'm bored.
Yeah, no, and she's also like, she's like, it's they go to events I'm at. Just like you would go to Turning Point events or events Turning Point's at, or maybe that you're obsessed with Erica and follow her around and Captain Phillips and all these other people. I mean, look, I'm wondering if they got hacked, like that channel got hacked and they brought it back or something. I don't know. I don't know why they're
I
doing
also
it.
don't care what the Daily Wire is doing. I'm not some big Daily
really
Wire
don't
rah-rah
care.
either. You know, people have accused me of being in league with the Daily Wire because the Daily
No.
Wire published 2 articles of mine. They published an article on Me Too that I did, an anti-Me Too article, and they published an article on the Lizzo controversy because I was defending Lizzo when she was accused of sexual harassment. Do you want to
Yeah.
know? Let me just say this, and I shouldn't admit this because it makes me sound bad. Do y'all, all of you saying that I'm in on some Jewish Daily Wire conspiracy because they published my work, do you want to know why I published my essays with the Daily Wire? Because no one else was interested in publishing them. And by the way, they were
That's
published
because the other media is.
they were published behind a
Yeah.
wall too. I mean, it wasn't even, or
Yeah.
actually, I should say, actually, my first article wasn't on Me Too. It was on academia. But anyway, the point is, I sent my stuff out to other places and they weren't interested. And the Daily Wire basically, when I was like, yeah, we'll put it behind our paywall, which doesn't make me look good. It basically was like kind of a loser paywall thing that I was given, but whatever. But no, I'm not in league with the Daily Wire, but I don't care. I really don't care if the Daily Wire is capitalizing on her or they're not. I want to hear about the Fed slop that you promoted in your thumbnail. I want to hear about Mitch and Alex Jones, and I want to see you defend yourself, and you're not doing it, Candace. This is just boring.
I was being stalked by them. I said this like privately.
Oh, yeah.
I said, I genuinely feel like when you break up with someone and you have a crazy ex, that was how it felt like being fired from the Daily Wire. Except in this circumstance, the ex broke up with you, but then I guess like maybe changed their mind or just didn't want to see you move on and be happy or successful. There was an element of this that felt, and I truly am not trying to be dramatic here. It felt like a crazy ex stalker. Like if I can't have you, nobody can have you, you know? And so to connect this point, to build this corollary for you guys, that was how I felt. That was what I was expressing to you at the end of last year, that I was done with it. Right? I was like, I'm leaving Daily Wire in 2025, come hell or high water. Well,
You got fired.
they want hell or high water because it turns out the reason they're doing this and doing it on my channel is because they are trying to hard launch a young woman named Madison Bransford. Okay. Now she's apparently an intern at the Daily Wire, and they're basically dropping like.
Can I just say Epcot Center is the bomb. I love Disney World. I haven't been in a while.
I like
dude.
Disney too.
I love that. I love the ride where you go up in that ball too. Isn't it like called like Tomorrow World or something? And you go up in the ball.
Tomorrowland or something like that. Yeah.
I need to go back to Disney World and Universal Studios. Universal Studios. Oh, did they still have that awesome Terminator ride?
I don't know.
Check it out,
I don't
dude.
know.
They also have a tornado, a twister ride. I'm a big tornado obsessive. I want to see a tornado one day before I die. And they used to have this ride at Universal Studios where you actually like get to experience like a twister scene. And so they've got this like wind tornado thing in the background. I don't know. Anyway, it was a lot of fun. But anyways, I don't know who the hell this is or what she's talking about. But again, I'm still bored.
an iCarly type Nickelodeon feel show where she's going to make fun of me. And the show is entitled In the No-No because apparently they watch every second of my show, which they've been doing for a very long time. They used to send clips and have people make fun of me when I was first getting started. And so now, because they still can't let me go, and since Ben is now on stage bringing me up and saying, we don't know.
Olivia, would you mind if I fast forwarded through a little
You know
bit?
what? I was literally after this section going to say, like, should we see if she's talking about Mitch or anything important right now?
All right. Okay, here's Charlie Kirk. Let's
There's
see.
Charlie.
Let's tee it up a little bit.
In Fort Huachuca, which signals to everybody.
All right. We're hearing about Fort Huachuca. Okay.
Here we go.
Looped you on this new brilliant idea to hard launch something on my socials of somebody making fun of me. I'm sure you thought that was going to be get some
Kinda
like huge
based.
applaud. It's weird. It makes me uncomfortable.
It's
If I'm
not
being frank,
new.
I'd like you
Not
guys
new.
to move on. I understand now.
Oh,
is
honey.
never.
We want you to
We're
move
never going
on.
to stop. This is just what we are. You're forever going to obsess about everything that I'm doing. I think it's a bad idea. I would kill it if I were you guys, but I see that you've already made a significant investment. And I hope it works out. I hope a person dedicated to making fun of me in the note, I hope it works out for young Maddie. Anyways, we now need to turn our attention back now that we've recapped how I'm feeling about the new year. We obviously have to discuss Fort Huachuca because it seems to have driven people
Obviously.
insane. Okay. Insane. People are losing their minds ever since we mentioned Fort Huachuca, which signals to everybody.
And by the way, just a quick plug here. Olivia and we did a whole series on Mitch and Fort Huachuca
Yep.
across both of our channels. And so if you're new to my content, my Candace content or whatever, you definitely want to go to the Candace, to my Candace playlist and find those videos. And they're pretty funny. But anyway, okay, let's see what she says about this.
That Mitch is telling the truth. Okay. Now, I should tell you that if Charlie were alive today, they'd be calling him demonic. They'd be calling him possessed. They'd be saying that he was crazy for not
Sorry,
trusting the government because he was honest. He had an honest perspective about psychological operations.
Why would they
He
be
noticed
calling-
that
wait,
he
what?
knew the government was behind these
So
psychological.
Charlie was alive and he was out there promoting his stuff for years.
None of this would have happened.
Years and years, and no one called him demonic. But now you're saying that today, a mere 3 months later, if he were alive, people would be saying he was possessed. What?
Yeah, no.
What? She's seriously.
She's
No
so
offense,
crazy.
and look, no offense to schizophrenics, because I've legit known a couple of schizophrenics in my
Yeah.
and it's a terrible affliction to have, but they were cool people. But her raving is becoming like a schizophrenic. I don't understand. It's disconnected. It's all this like weird offbeat stuff coming in.
Psychological operations, just like the one they have put in place since Charlie was assassinated. Here's what Charlie had to say back in October of 2024 regarding the CIA and MK Ultra. He is speaking with Justice Smith. Take a listen.
Do you think the MK Ultra project ever actually ended, or just went?
No,
under a
we
new
have.
name?
I mean, we have no evidence that it ended. And I mean, also we have Operation Mockingbird too, which was another CIA program, which was that they were going to take over all the news networks and have symmetry in their broadcast communications. No, the Central Intelligence Agency is actively involved in mind manipulation of people here domestically. And that is
No one denies that MK Ultra was a thing. No one denies that the CIA probably continues to try to engage in various forms of propaganda. That's not the issue. The issue is, Candace, that all of the bullshit conspiracy theories that you are espousing are completely unproven, have been disproved. So this is what she does, though, and this is why it's so compelling to some people, is that she will take real historical things, or she'll take realities in the world, and then she will tie them to her own conspiracy theories. And basically what she'll say is, well, if you don't believe my conspiracy theory, then you must not believe that MK Ultra was a thing. No, sweetie, we just believe that you have taken these realities and you've twisted them up and connected them to bullshit.
Yep.
completely against the CIA charter. We must understand, we have Congress, and they're just kind of like a peanut gallery. And then we have a super government that exists above Congress of the Department of Defense, which is the Pentagon, the Central Intelligence Agency, which is its own thing out in Langley, the Federal Bureau of Investigation. They run the country.
No one denies
the
that.
intel agencies run the country.
I
The
agree.
people don't run the country. The executive branch doesn't run the country. This is why they hate Trump, because Trump was the first candidate since JFK to actually want to declare war on the intel agencies and bring the power back to the sovereign. And both him and Kennedy got shot.
Yes, well, I am just in many ways, I think it would just pain Charlie to see everything that's happened since he passed. I think it would just pain him to see what Trump has become. He's become a deep state, obviously, and never have I ever seen a more aggressive psychological operation, or a more obvious operation, for that matter, than everything that the intel agencies have been trying to impart upon the public since Charlie Kirk.
By the way, I'm glad, Hunt for Gray, that you brought this up about the baby, because Candace has how many children now? Is it 3 or 4?
4.
She has 4 young children. And look, if you follow me on Twitter and stuff, you'll know that I'm against the trad stuff. I don't have kids, not going to have kids. I'm very vocal about things like this, not telling other people not to have them, but I'm definitely an anti-trad person. But if you're going to write, Candace Owens, if you're going to write a book and call it Make Him a Sandwich, and you're going to promote this antiquated or traditional idea of gender relations and gender roles, then what are you doing with a podcast? What are you doing spending all of this time as a new mother and a mother of 4 obsessing over all of this stuff? Shouldn't you be in the kitchen making sandwiches for multiple people? And
Literally, like, if you're going to preach that, live by that.
Go make a sandwich, please. For God's sake, get in the kitchen.
Needed. Until, I should say, and relatedly, I saw what happened after we brought up Mitch Snow. Okay, so let's recap what happened in case you forgot.
Okay, skip the
I
recap. We know what
mentioned
happened.
Pachuca on my show.
Can't do this
and
with her
apparently
right
the
now.
world exploded and imploded at the exact same time.
Because we know the story.
All right.
It's going to take her forever.
100% certain he saw Brian Harpole at this top brass meeting that took place on the morning of the 9th, a meeting which was concluding.
All right. Blah, blah, blah. If you don't know what she's talking about, just check out our prior videos. We just can't do it again. We cannot do
the
it.
9th. He saw her the night before, allegedly, obviously.
I do want to say that was thing though, Olivia. So if you watched her Twitter Spaces program the other night, I thought it was fascinating, and I saw other people commenting on this, how she flat out denied that Mitch saw Erica Kirk on this particular date. Like
even though he was on her show saying that.
Exactly. She was like, no, because one of her viewers called her out on this in the Spaces, and she's like, no, Erica was not there. Erica was not there. And it's like, girl, you're gonna try to slink away from what you had your guest on here saying, which was that he saw Erica Kirk there. So like, it's interesting to me she was trying to backtrack on that.
The allegation. What happened after we allowed Mitch onto the show to share his story was it was just madness. It was kooky. What happens next is Alex Jones, of all people, the guy who brought us the gay frogs, and a couple of YouTubers that nobody had heard of, began a very aggressive effort to go after Mitch, right? To say,
they were validating
this guy
him.
is illegitimate. We shouldn't listen to a single.
They did the checks you didn't do.
She's not talking about us though, is she? She said a couple of YouTubers that no one has heard of. I'd love to believe.
Look, if she's talking about us, girl, hey sis. I mean,
I think she's talking about Paramount Tactical, because I don't think we're I don't think we're big enough to be quite on her radar. Although she did block me, and let me just say,
I did see that. That's right, because you were sick, but I saw that. Yes.
I am one of the few, let me just say this, I'm one of the few people that Candace actually has blocked, and she did it over Christmas because I was commenting on so many of her posts, and I was just ripping her up. And what was happening is that each time she would post, or frequently when she would post something on Twitter, I would comment on it, and then my comment would become the number one most viewed,
Yep, 'cause
most
it was, like,
liked
right away.
comment.
Oh
And
my
so
gosh, yeah, no, that was so
she
funny. Or, like,
blocked me. She blocked me.
yeah.
So
Or
she's
the
aware.
or the Alex Jones thing. I remember we were going back to Michigan for the holidays, and I like texted you. I was like, "Oh my gosh, you have to see what's happening right now!" Like Alex Jones is calling her out, and of course she's saying everybody's going after him now after Mitch. Look, like people are trying to make sure they're doing the background checks you failed to do. That's what they're doing. They're not going after him. They're validating things, which is not. That's normal. That's normal.
Well, and when you put yourself out there, I mean, I never complain about people quote going after me, because when you put yourself out there and when you make controversial, incredible, and as it turns out, invalid claims, then yes, people are going to come after you, especially when you have old videos out there of you trying to get sympathy and money for your injuries, and your sling is going from one arm to another.
Word that he says, quite literally, Alex Jones went onto his show and declared war on me. I've never said a bad word about Alex Jones ever. In fact, only good words. I've spoken about Alex Jones. I've said he's always been good to me. I've played clips of him. I said he's very funny. And he's going to act like I've attacked him, never spoke to him about Mitch Snow.
He owes you nothing, Candace.
Listen to Alex Jones quite literally declare war on me. And this is over Mitch Snow. Take a listen.
I remember saying to them, like I said, I got to investigate her now. I got a bad feeling. I didn't have a bad feeling. God gave me a good brain. I already knew. I dropped the ball. I apologize. She's a globalist agent. I dropped the ball and I failed you, and I'm sorry. I got to follow my gut every time. It's never wrong. And I saw so much more she did.
Alex Jones never ceases to be bombastic and entertaining.
I just love every time he talks. I'm just so intrigued.
Yeah, and look, no one's denying that Alex Jones is generally full of shit. But what's interesting about this?
That's why when he calls her out, you're like, oh no.
Exactly, is that apparently Candace is so out in left field, so wackadoodle crazy that even Alex Jones cannot abide her anymore. That should be a sign.
And I love her people threatening me and all their doxing of people and all that. You think that's going to make me go away? All you did was wake me up like a nuclear test site waking up Godzilla. So just get your asses ready, because you want a war. I want your war. I want it all. I want the doxing. I want the lies. I want the attacks. I'm going to take you on, because you work for the deep state and the Democratic Party and the CIA and MI6, and I see your ass. So you just get ready.
I love him so much.
Points for entertaining. I have no idea what he's talking about. I don't know. Good luck. I hope you do it. I hope you go after whoever it is.
Olivia, I saw Alex Jones ride through Austin, Texas in a tank. And I literally did. I'll tell you why this happened.
Oh my God.
Right after COVID had kicked off, when all of those government mandates had just come into full force, I went to an anti-COVID mandate rally in Austin, Texas. Yeah. And my significant other, actually, good on him, he was the one who brought me to this thing. And there were, though, a lot of Alex Jones fans there, because I think Alex Jones was the one organizing it. And I totally, by the way, don't support or believe in Alex Jones, a lot of his conspiracy theories, but he was one of the few early people who was standing up against the COVID mandates and the COVID madness. So anyway, as a part of this rally, he rode through the Capitol in a tank with a loudspeaker. It was pretty hilarious. It was pretty hilarious.
The attacks are in the room with you right now. Alex, let us know. Okay. I literally have no idea what he's speaking about. I was off air and Alex Jones was just burying himself, getting fact checked. People are attacking him because he's lying about what I've said. He's pretending it's personal.
Girl, you lie
all
the
the
time.
Had a conversation, or like I went after him on the show. I don't know what that is. Then I would eventually find out exactly what it is. First, the efforts from Alex Jones and these YouTubers. Well, first, they played like they were friends with him. So you had this Paramount Tactical account in Valhalla who called up Mitch and pretended to be a brother, like a brother in arms. Yeah, brother. Yeah, we're trying to help you. We think, Candace could be potentially funded. This is,
I might still have the picture by the way to the commenter. I was
Ooh,
thinking,
yes.
I used to have a video. I'm going to try to find it, see if I can bring it next time.
Paramount Tactical, potentially working with foreign agents and like, you're one of us. At the exact same time, they had Ian Carroll calling me, and Ian Carroll was being a friend, and he's like, hey, you should get on the phone with them and you should come out against Mitch because Mitch is a fraud and Mitch was never in the military and it's going to be really bad for you. Like, you need to make a statement against Mitch. So just to make that clear, they're trying to pressure Mitch to say something against me and trying to pressure me to say something against Mitch, to believe that Mitch was a fraud and to have Mitch believe that I was
a
That
fraud.
struck me as odd. I did
He
not
may have
take
been in the
bait.
military, but he's still a fraud.
Then after, through a third party effectively threatening me and saying that lawsuits were going to be coming if I did not go back on my word of allowing, Mitch to be on my platform and share his story, that there were huge lawsuits coming. And I explained to Ian Carroll, I was like, Ian, this is not how lawsuits work. They didn't send me a cease and desist. What have I done wrong here? Then they said that he was never, that it was like stolen valor. He was never in the military. And then they had to admit that, no, actually, Mitch was in the military, but they were ashamed because he was a really bad dude who abused women in the past. And then they brought out the said women onto their platform. Like, suddenly we are being brought into Jerry Springer and they had to absolve his past. Everyone's like, what does this have to do with Fort Huachuca? Can
Thank
Suge
you.
Knight
We're asking the
be
same
Ryan
thing.
Harple?
She misuses words all the time, and I
Oh
hate
my God, so bad.
I
So
look,
bad.
look, I hate to be the pedantic ex-English professor that I am, but it gets to a point where misusing words so much is a sign of either low intelligence or low education level. She just misused absolve there. She used it oppositionally to what it actually means, but whatever.
At a military base? Like, do I care about Suge Knight's history? What does this have to do with anything? This is just illogical. So when the public didn't bite on that, they then said, and it probably wasn't even true, that he was at Fort Huachuca because he was a pathological liar and they could prove that this was a bad dude and a pathological liar. So I then dropped the military police reports, the actual
not a
incident
report.
reports.
Okay, can I
what
say
happened
something
on the
about this?
basis-
No. Go ahead.
I do have something to say. So people don't really know this, but I used to be a security officer. I know, little me, tiny me. Yes, I was a security officer. I was also a security dispatcher for an entire college at one point. So I've made
You
many.
wait a minute. Were you
Oh,
in
no.
on the Charlie Kirk assassination?
How did you know?
Did you
How
work
did you
with
know?
that Utah University where he's killed? Okay.
Yeah, how did you know? You figured it out. I did this for about 3 years. So I did it for a long time. And I wrote reports. This is not a submitted report. I
No.
can tell you that right now. This report
No.
is not submitted. It is, and to say this is a final report, that is not what you say. There were so many things wrong. And I did this at a very, I don't want to say like professional level or unprofessional level, but I did this at a very, mid-level, I guess, because we were a college, but not a big college, but we worked with local law enforcement. So I'd write a lot of these up and we tried to be as close to law enforcement as possible. And then the next step to that is military. And so we were more informal and yet we still wrote better than this. And so I'm telling you right now that this would not, and one day I'll pull the uniform out of storage to prove. I might have a picture of it because people are always like, there's no way. I'm like, I was a security officer. I was, but there's no way
Well,
that
it
is
says
a real
executive
report.
summary too. Like it is clearly a rewriting on a.
Yes.
It's just some typed shit on a computer screen.
Mhm.
I mean, like,
Yes.
and it says, I don't know if people can see it because at the top it's the colors are sort of nondescript, but it says executive summary. This is not actually the report. A report would be an actual like screenshot of a document. This looks completely unofficial, and the fact that she puts this up here as a
It's not
compelling
even submitted.
evidence is insane, and this is so low IQ, and I just cannot believe that. Look, I have friends that I respect who were Candace fans a month or so ago, but I just have to say that at this point, anyone still hanging on with her, you are in denial or you're stupid. There's just no other way to explain it. This is what she's put out as her one piece of compelling evidence, and it is absolute BS. So yeah, I don't.
Yeah, it is.
That day,
is.
which proves that Mitch told the truth.
It
So
proves
then
that
they
Mitch
pivoted,
is crazy
and
and
they
showed up
said
on
the
a
police
base.
report was fake.
Well, and
There were
that's
some
the
points
other
of it
thing
looked
too,
fake.
is that we've talked about this. If you actually read the executive summary, it does not confirm his story. What it confirms is that this dude was causing
Showed up.
crazy,
Yeah, showed up.
acting crazy, and caused an incident, which is what we have predicted from the beginning. Is that what actually happened? Is this schizophrenic grifter dude shows up at this base, makes an ass of himself, walking around clearly out of his element, saying weird shit, and he caused an incident. This does not in any way confirm anything
Yep.
that he said in any way. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Because it had typos, and this didn't look like a real driver's license number for driver's license for Washington State. And apparently, police officers never make typos, right? Everyone knows these are like
Not in
English
reports,
students.
they don't.
These are authors. How could a police officer typo in a police report? Goalposts
They would
was
correct
moved
it.
again and again, and finally they decided I'm not kidding here. They decided that as proof of how terrible of a human being that Mitch was, which again, I
Is.
still can't compute what this has to do with
Is.
whether or not he was at Fort Huachuca, but as proof, they were teasing this, and Alex Jones was teasing this. They were going to bring his son on, his son, who he has not spoken to since his son was 2 years old and who is now an adult man. They were going to bring his son onto
like a
the
great
show.
dad.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
about-
speaking to his
about
character.
Mitch. And accidentally and quite hilariously, the son confirms that the incident at Fort Huachuca actually
No one
happened.
is saying
Okay,
he
take a
didn't.
listen to that moment
We're
because
saying he didn't see who
it's
he
perfection. It's
says.
hilarious.
You're a
My
veteran,
God.
and I don't know. Have you watched his claims on Candace Owens? Do you know what?
By the way, this is Gary Belton, Paramount Tactical, and I did an interview with him a week or so ago, and I had some technical issues since I had to fix this. I'll be posting it soon. But anyway, this guy's a good guy, and he's gotten. By the way, he went to Paramount Tactical. This dude has gotten kind of dragged through the mud a little bit himself. Nothing significant, nothing that's going to stick. But I respect that he's put himself out there. Is now getting shit for it. But anyway.
What he's talking about.
I watched some of them very briefly. I can only stomach so much of that bullshit. They're not going to let him go into anywhere ops center or anything like that.
Yeah.
On any post. Not Huachuca, not Carson, not nowhere. Not in the States, not abroad. They're going to make him go through the same center that everybody goes through to get his ID, get it renewed if he doesn't have it to that point. They're going to let him go to the commissary. They're going to let him go to the PX, maybe some of the other amenities on the post, but he doesn't have a secret security clearance.
Or if he does walk into the Joint Task Force staff duty, he might end up detained and outside getting the canines called on him as per this report, which again, I don't even know if this report is real or not. There's so much craziness going on with this report. It's not a license plate number.
They called me on September 9th, asking me if I knew anything about a Mitch Snow and telling me that I was listed as his number one emergency contact. And I just remember sitting there for like a minute, like, I don't know a Mitch Snow. I don't know why I'd be on somebody's emergency contact list.
Oops. Not what they had planned. So yeah.
Girl,
Fort Huachuca,
that makes him look even
everything that was
worse.
happening that
I
morning on the
know.
9th happened, and they also called his son.
So all this is telling us is that once again, this dude, as we predicted and as we know now, was acting crazy, caused a little incident on this base, and that this guy has such low character that when he has to pull back all the way to a kid that he hasn't seen since he was 2 years old for a
This is
character
emergency.
reference.
That's crazy. And then he's like, I don't even know who that guy is.
Crazy.
Oh my
Looked
gosh.
up at his son, was his son, and yeah, oopsies. So then
So
they pivoted
what?
again to hosting a stream to rather gloriously and definitively declare that Erica had an airtight alibi on the 8th, or at least they were confused about dates and didn't realize that we were speaking about the 8th. And This is when things went very sideways and revealed that Andrew Colvett was actually the hand behind the scenes communicating with these people, these obscure people who were obsessed with Mitch's past. Paramount Tactical is live and he accidentally reads his instructions from Andrew Colvett, but couldn't read fast enough to the part where Andrew Colvett says, please don't show this. Take a listen.
Oh, this is such a nothing.
I asked him, hey, do you have proof of this? He says, but it's worth saying Erica wasn't in some fort in Tucson. The internet's gone insane. She woke up next to Charlie on the 9th, went to the office with Charlie all day, woke him up from a nap before a Fox hit, went to dinner with Charlie. Literally, people are lunatics. And then the next one, proof, she was with her kids at 8:33 a.m. Pacific time, which again, in September, Arizona's on Pacific time. Taking them for a walk. Apparently I wasn't supposed to share that. But anyways, point being is that's
Okay,
All
he
right,
wasn't supposed to share that they were on a walk. That's all it is.
I think
Nothing.
he wasn't, and I think he wasn't supposed to share the that she was on a walk. Maybe not even the picture too, because there's a picture there with her kids or whatever. But yeah,
but the faces are covered, and so I don't think, honestly, I don't think it's a big deal. I think he's saying she was on a walk. Don't share that for whatever reason, but I don't think it has anything. Candace is trying to use this as evidence to say, oh, look, she doesn't have a real cover up, a cover story or an alibi.
Yeah. She's trying to say that Andrew Colvett is basically the TPOSA dude, is basically like this master manipulator who's basically pulling the strings of these YouTubers who are out there calling out Candace Owens. And he's saying, oh, don't share that. No, everybody can see
He's providing
a nothing burger this is.
Yeah, he's providing evidence for these YouTubers to share, because if he shares it directly, she's going to make claims like she did with Cabot Phillips that the metadata is fake or that all these things. That's the thing, is they get evidence. Her little cult gets evidence, and immediately it's wrong. You can edit the metadata, but then when Cabot Phillips texts her and says, here's the photo, you can tell if I edited anything, suddenly she just doesn't share anything else about it. She just shuts up about it. Are you kidding me? You can't even be like, okay, I was wrong, Cabot Phillips wasn't there.
Right. This is so nothing anyway. And look, I'll just say this. In these situations, I have been doing the Me Too debunking, for example, for a while with some of these false claims against various people. And what happens is when you as a YouTuber, when you start defending someone, a public figure, oftentimes they are so grateful for you doing that, or they want to help you because you're one of the few people perhaps out there who's pushing the truth, that they will get in contact with you and they will try to then help you, connect some more dots and stuff. There's nothing nefarious about it. It doesn't mean that Andrew Colvett is out there literally like a general, directing these YouTubers as to what lies to tell or whatever. I mean, people with brains can see this. Again, this is just for Candace's stupid followers who won't know what's going on. Larry, thank you for the super chat. She will twist every little thing that she can to keep the grift going. You want to beat her. You can't make mistakes. I don't trust her or the FBI story. And look, I personally don't think that the FBI lied. I do think, as I've said before, that Occam's razor, that Tyler Robinson did kill this guy, did kill Kirk and whatever. But if some people want to say, oh, I don't trust the FBI, or I think they're incompetent or whatever, fine. But Candace has given us no reason to trust her either. So thank you for the comment. All right.
I agree with everything.
33 a.m. It shows the date on that. Sorry, Andrew. I screwed that up, man. I was trying to run a podcast and do everything else.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You should be sorry. I'm sorry for Andrew too, because that's what pissed me off. Honestly, I'm going to be honest with you guys.
Nothing.
That was upsetting to me because we had all suspected that Turning Point was behind this. We had suspected that they were the ones, and I can confirm to you because also Alex said that he was in communication with Turning Point USA.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry, Olivia. I'm getting a call here. Just a second. I need to take this call. Hello, Andrew.
Oh my God. Hi, Andrew.
Andrew. Yeah. Tell me what you want me to say? Yeah, we're on right now. On right now. What do you want us to tell our viewers? Okay. And by the way, is that check that you promised me that's coming in the mail soon, right? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Andrew. Oh, oops, I wasn't supposed to share that. Sorry, Andrew.
Oh shit. Yeah, no, okay. Yeah, I got the bank transfer. No, and it's funny because some of her little lunatics have now permeated the chat here, and I'm it's just making me laugh watching it. But yeah, if you guys can't understand humor,
Oh,
Clearly.
do we have some Candy supporters? I'm just curious. Candy
Oh yeah, no, they're
supporters.
in the chat. They're in the chat calling her a queen. They're saying that we're pathetic and all this
Well, I
stuff.
have a
And
question,
I'm
by
loving
the
it.
way. Candy supporters, I just want to know how much of your hard-earned money have you donated to this fucking lunatic? That's what I'd like to know, because I feel sorry for you. I feel sorry for you and the amount of brain space.
Oh, we were
that
called
you've put in this.
cows.
Cows.
Mm.
I'm called an anorexic skinny ass half the time, so I don't know.
I get called like you're too thin, you're frail. But sure, yeah. I'll inform my
So we're cows now?
husband that I'm a cow. Let me
Yeah.
just let my loving dear husband know that.
Yeah, I don't think. I'm sorry, y'all. You can. A lot of insults might be believable with me, but I don't think cow's gonna stick.
Yeah, no,
exactly.
that's not the right
All
one.
right.
Look, like you can call me shrill, you can call me like dumb. Okay, fine, but and we're
Cow-
incompetent. Oh,
cow ain't gonna
I love
stick.
it. So
All right.
funny.
I just want to know how much money you idiots have thrown at this woman. That's what I want to know.
This person is Andrew, obviously, and I confirmed that Andrew had been communicating with Alex Jones directly. But why that upset me was because they were willing to drag me through the mud to try to have me, I would say, threatened by these YouTubers, this very guy that then goes, oh, Andrew Colvett. And yet they wouldn't just communicate that directly to me. Like we were very open to him just having the wrong memory, being where he was, but maybe having the wrong memory and not having seen Erica or seeing Brian Harpole. So what is this actually about? Right? What is this actually about? And what was upsetting to me, especially first and foremost, because this makes no sense. Nobody accused Erica of being anywhere on the 9th, but yet we see her finger in there. We see that she is showing that she's with her kids on the morning of the 9th. And that to me ran counter to my meeting with Erica. I was
Julesy, Candace supporter, Julesy. I know that you're low IQ, so you probably don't understand, haven't picked up on this, but we're actually not
We're
offended.
laughing.
We're not
We're laughing.
offended. We're not butthurt. We're laughing at her.
I don't think you guys realize that like the two of us
The low
are
IQ,
probably like some of the like, we don't get offended very easily. So y'all can call us what you want. Look, I'm a married woman. I could give zero shits what people think about me, to be honest with you.
no one is butthurt by this. By this, I don't think you can understand. what
Sure, no, yeah.
laughing at idiocy looks like. But anyway, I guess she ended her stream, and that's why these loonies are now popping.
I'm assuming so, because that's why they're here. No, guys, look, the only person's opinions I actually really care about is obviously like my husband's and my family's. So
I still want to know,
so
though.
call me a cow, but that's my husband's problem, not yours, if that's what you think.
I still want to know, though, how much money have you given this woman? You low IQ.
Yeah, they're not answering the question. We're just asking questions.
How much of your money have you given away?
Left under the impression after my meeting with Erica that Andrew Colbert had gone rogue, right? A lot of the things that I was saying and Turning Point was saying the opposite thing. And I felt like they were trying to make me look like a liar, right? The Charlie Kirk Catholic thing, me speaking about the threats that Charlie received the day before he died. And then when Turning Point would come out and issue a statement, their excuse was like, okay, no, you were telling the truth, but Andrew Colbert went rogue.
Yeah, thanks for the super chat here. Candace, why is she still ducking the questions about her husband's sexual harassment charges against another man? Well, another man's sexual harassment charges against her husband. She blocked the alleged victim. Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. Raheem Kassan, I don't know the truth of it, but Raheem Kassan, former Breitbart editor, major figure in Great Britain conservative politics, former Turning Point dude, whatever, has affirmed again and again that George Farmer sexually assaulted him, harassed him, and that George Farmer is a closeted homosexual. By the way, this is something that also Milo Yiannopoulos also affirmed a while back, although he's changed his
tune. He did.
Now he got the call from Candace, and so he's changed his tune, and now he's a big Candy defender. I don't know the truth about George Farmer, and I don't really care, except just to say that there is currently more evidence that George Farmer might be a gay man than there is that Brigitte Macron is a man.
Someone just said that they gave Candace $2,000 last month.
What?
Just so you know, I just saw that in the chat. I gave $2,000 for the past 1 month. She deserves every dollar, every penny.
That's got to be a joke. Did you seriously admit to that? Who said that? I'm trying to find you now. Well, if that's not a joke and you gave this woman 2,000, I legit feel sorry for you, and I feel sorry for I don't know your kids.
Oh, and we're broke little podcasters, by the way. That's another one.
Well,
see, this is more fun to me than what Candace is saying. Is like just talking to her. Like, it's just so fun to me because it's like, okay, they know nothing about us, which is very funny. We're jealous and we're haters and broke podcasters, which I'm not a podcaster. I may be broke, but that's okay.
Well, I am broke, so y'all give me money.
Literally, like, okay.
PayPal link. This is a good time actually to advertise that PayPal is my preferred donation method, but I also appreciate the super chats, and you can find
2K.
You can find my PayPal link below. Somebody wants to throw 2K at me. No, but seriously, y'all, I feel sorry for like if you're giving 2K to this woman, I feel sorry for your children that you're robbing of that money, because that could be like spent on them, but whatever. All right.
Sure what to believe when I left the meeting. Obviously, I wanted to take time to digest those things, but I'm very clear that that's what I was told, right? They copped to the fact that, yeah, Andrew Kovac did receive that text from Charlie the night before, and Charlie was worried that he was going to be killed. But, Erica didn't know this information, and she was looking in his iMessages. Okay, so Andrew went so rogue that he didn't even communicate after Charlie was assassinated to the team that Charlie was afraid he was going to die. Also,
They never tell the other side of the end of that statement too, or the reality of that, which is not that he was afraid that he was going to be killed by Jewish donors or something. He was afraid that a crazy leftist, and this has been confirmed, he was afraid that a crazy leftist was going to kill him. And guess what ended up happening? A crazy leftist killed him. All right, there we go. Big conspiracy.
Rogue, apparently, on the Superman text as well. Like, he was the one who issued that tweet and quoted the surgeon. I then told you that the surgeon never said that. That was not a quote from the surgeon. What I didn't tell you was that according to my source, which I trust very much, the person that was on that phone that said that quote was actually Erica. It was a three-way phone call after my episode. I am told, again, these are two disputed narratives. Erica claims Andrew went rogue, and also the surgeon went rogue and violated HIPAA. My source says that no, the surgeon did not violate HIPAA, and he never said that. But he answered Andrew Kovac's questions because Erica was on the phone, and that the Superman quotation came from her, and they thought it was sweet because she was trying to grapple with things. And that's why I just abstained from telling the public that, because I thought maybe she needed to believe that because he died. And I was trying to be gracious. I don't know what to believe. What I see now is that I'm getting played, because now I see that she's giving an alibi to Andrew, and Andrew's not going rogue. Okay. Andrew is being told to do these things. Andrew is being told to attack me and to attack
No one owes you anything. It doesn't, honestly, no one owes you shit for anything anyway. And so for her to be like, oh, they're not giving, they're backtracking on this, or they didn't tell me this or this, and nobody owes you anything. Who the fuck are you? Who?
Oh my God, this is so fun. Sorry, I'm having a ball right now reading the comments.
Yeah, what are some other comments?
It's just so funny. They're like, the 7K check come in. I'm like, yes, disagreeing with Candace makes you a supporter of the Jews.
And the BB Bucks.
Same person who said that we're broke. So like, I'm not sure where that adds up, but go off,
I blew the 7K on crack, to be honest with you. But oh Lord, I'm gonna have to. Honestly, I'm gonna have to wrap it up soon anyway, because
I know. Yeah, no,
we're
getting
go. I gotta go. But
should you give us anything else? Can we kind of see if she does anything else here?
Was there. I had no idea, by the way, that Erica was there. The first time I found out Erica was there was when I was sitting across from Erica. I don't know actually why I wasn't told that earlier. Anyways, the point being is that she was there and she conceded that yes, the Israel thing came up, and just as the people told me that his perspectives on Israel were being challenged. And then she said, yeah, I was there when Bibi Netanyahu called. Okay. How come no one has confirmed that? There's a piece of me.
Because no one owes you shit. No one owes you anything. Who are you? Who are you? Charlie Kirk got rid of you. You got pushed out of Turning Point, just like you've been pushed out of every position pretty much that you've ever been in one form or fashion. And again, that's the thing. If you look at our history, it's one collapsed, disrupted relationship after another. It's one firing or disastrous professional relationship after another. And finally, it's all sort of catching up with her as people learn her bio.
Angry about the fact that I have been telling the truth.
Blah, blah, blah.
Or direct people to attack me. I'm done with all of it this year. Now, regarding the Fort Huachuca story, I now very much believe there is something here. I reached out immediately after this moment where Andrew goes mask down. I reached out to Andrew Colbert directly, and I reached out to the COO. And in good faith, I said, hey, I am happy to communicate the facts to my audience. You don't need to submit your alibi to some obscure YouTuber. You don't have to have Alex Jones go after me or attack me. We were just interested in the truth. We didn't know where this was going to end. And I had a phone call, not with Andrew Colbert.
She got the call.
A good phone call. I do think thus far Justin Strife has maybe been the only person that has been well intended. And he's not on social media, so he kind of stays above the fray. And he was trying to understand what happened, and I explained to him that I was now pissed off. That I viewed this to be a violation of our ceasefire. Okay. And he said to me that he would get me a message from Erica that was her quote unquote alibi, if we're calling it that. I never demanded an alibi again. But that this was a conversation between her and Charlie about dinner, about them making dinner during that time frame when Mitch believes that he saw her on Fort Huachuca.
I actually, to be honest with you, I do feel sorry for George Farmer, her husband, because whether he's gay or he's not gay or whatever, I don't care. But I do feel sorry for him because I do think that this dude, I don't think whether he married her for love or he married her some kind of calculated thing, I don't think he had any idea what he was signing on for. He thought he was signing up to be with a reputable, beloved figure on the right wing and an up and coming or very successful, podcaster. And I don't think that he realized that he was signing on to be put in the crosshairs of some serious litigation, to be made a laughing stock of. I mean, I do feel sorry for the dude. I really do feel sorry for him. But it is what it is. Even his dad had to come out and call her out. That had to have been the worst Christmas ever.
At the Fort Huachuca base at the hotel. So it would be impossible, obviously, if this is a conversation on the 8th
Handle
between
with
Charlie and
tweets.
Erica, for her to have also been on the base, conversation about dinner. He did send me that message, but the contact name was blacked out. So I said, do you mind, just sending me, you can unblock the contact name, obviously, because I know Charlie's number. So, and he said, we thought you were going to release that to the public, and we don't want Charlie's nickname to be shown. And I said, well, don't worry about that. I'm not going to release the message. I think the public trusts me. I'm not going to release the message. If I say I saw it and confirmed it, they would trust it. But I need to see Charlie's name. Could you just send me the quick video of her opening that? And I have not received that since. Okay. So that was, a while ago. I followed up about 4 times. I still have not received that. So I cannot confirm that conversation took place between her and Charlie. I'm interested in confirming it. I'm interested in confirming it because I feel like something's there. I just
feel that way.
You know what?
Feel vibes. It's the vibes.
Daily Wire apparently loves. We don't know now, but I think we know.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there it is. She said the line.
And tomorrow we're going to dive deeper.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk about Cabot Phillips. We're going to talk about Mark Amaday.
Great. Great. Keep digging.
Actually, I do believe
going,
that
girl.
Mark Amaday, and again, remember, regarding Cabot Phillips and Mark Amaday,
keep digging. I'm just
keep digging, babe. You don't know, but you know.
Saying that got me in a lot of trouble, and I still feel that way. I still think genocide is always wrong. So
she's got her Brigitte Macron doll. I do have to kind of laugh at that, even though it's total BS.
Okay, it is kind of funny, but it is kind of funny.
Just add it to the lawsuit. Just keep racking up
keep going.
all of those reasons.
God, I love that you guys are sitting here chatting, bumping us up in the algorithm. Thank you, Candyland fans. You guys are so sweet.
Keep racking up all of the reasons for them to bankrupt you, Candace, with your Brigitte Macron doll there. Oh my gosh. All right.
Still think,
and you know what, to all of the Candace fans here who are dragging us for, it's so embarrassing, you only have 300 and something viewers on this. You know what, I may not have as many viewers as Candace, but I'll tell you 2 things. First of all, I can sleep at night. I can live with myself. I can look at myself in the mirror. And secondly, I know that I'm not going to be bankrupted by a giant lawsuit by president of
French
France
president.
in
Yep.
your future.
Ooh.
She's not, look, Candace Owens, she can bluster as much as she wants and she can double down as it seems like she's going to do, but she's going to have a rough year, and she's not going to be sleeping well at night. It's kind of like in Macbeth, when Macbeth kills the king, and as he does it, he hears sleep no more. Macbeth hath murdered sleep. Well, Candace, sleep no more. You have murdered sleep because you are not going to get a good night's sleep for a while with all of this shit. All right, I got to wrap it up. Everybody, check out both of our channels. Olivia is linked in the title. I believe you can just click on it and the description. We've both done videos on Huachuca and Mitch and Candace Owens. So check out both of our channels. Check out my Candace Owens Debunked playlist. And yeah, we'll be doing more of this. It sounds like, there was a part.
Sounds like we're going to have more to do. Look, we've got fans now. We've got people that are willing to sit here and hate watch us to boost numbers. So look, come back, y'all. Like, seriously, come back. We love to have you guys. I see those two of you wasting our brains. You're saying we're wasting brain cells. Oh, baby, you're so sweet. Okay, so funny. Thank you for the engagement. Love that. You guys, you can find me, Olivia Dasovic, on X, on Instagram. I think you have my YouTube here tagged. Yeah. I'm putting out a video tomorrow, and it's not about Candace stuff. It's about the obesity epidemic, ironically, which is actually really weird considering the comment, but here we are. Well,
that's cool. So everybody check that out. She's just started a channel and it's doing well, so she'll have more content there.
Thanks for having me. I love hanging out here.
As always. So everybody, again, I appreciate the super chats and the thanks button, but also PayPal, a great way to tip me. My link's below. You don't have to be a PayPal member to do so. And as always, thank you to my mods. I see Laura B here. And then also thanks to Vanessa, AJ, and Rebel Bird, who are also mod for me. And thanks everybody, my viewers. Again, if you're new to my stuff, check out my channel, and I cover a lot of other stuff, and my Candace Owens Debunked playlist. So we will see you all later. Bye-bye. And we are ending the stream right up